Hello and welcome to a new series of Pregame Previews. It's going to be myself, Zachary Smith, and Trevor Scott with me talking about the NFC Championship game. You hear the beer? Talking about the NFC Championship game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams going on in LA. Big matchup, kind of same kind of thing we have going on the AFC side. We have an underdog going up against a team that's been a favorite all year long. So what do you think San Francisco is going to have to do to win this game, Trevor?
I think the only chance they have at winning this game is if Jimmy G plays good, and that's why I have them losing this game. If you listen to this week's episode and pick them, I picked the Rams. It wasn't hard for me. This score was a lot easier to pick than the Cincinnati and Kansas City game, which me and Carrie recorded last night. Which, shout out to Carrie. I don't know if you can see, but on my TV back here, I got the Bills and Patriots game from a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, just those highlights.
I like that, yeah.
Like to say. But, yeah, I think what it's really going to come down to in this game is going to be the Niners' ability to run the ball. That's what they have to do to be in a position to win, or else Jimmy G is going to have to play better than he has been playing. And I think it's a little bit more likely for them to have success on the ground against a tremendous Rams front seven than Jimmy G to play a winning game in the NFC Championship game. So that's what the Niners are going to have to do. But looking back on the Rams' two playoff games, the Bucs had 51 yards rushing. They all came from Leonard Fournette. The Cardinals, the game before that, Chase Edmonds had 28, James Conner had 19, and Kyler had 6.
Yeah.
So this postseason defense has been stout.
Yeah.
Nobody's running against them. If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be the Niners, obviously.
Yeah.
They're not going to lay down. They're not going to have 50 yards or less. But the Rams are going to make it hard. And either that front's going to have to step up and block, running backs are going to have to step up and hit the holes, make the right reads, and not fumble the ball, or Jimmy G's going to have to go off. Both of those things I have less likely not happening than happening. So I'm taking the Rams just like I did on Pick'em, but I have Jimmy G's stats from the last two playoffs games. First playoff game, he went 11 for 19, 131 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. Last game, 16 for 25, 172, no touchdowns and a pick. I mean, you're not going to beat this Rams team scoring 13 points, scoring 23 points. I don't see it happening.
Especially because this game, unlike last week where San Francisco was able to knock off probably the Super Bowl favorite, the Green Bay Packers, this game's going to be played in L.A. The weather's going to be nice. It's not going to be like, frigid, snowing, none of that, which benefits the Niners game, really, because it takes away the opposing quarterback's ability to throw the ball as much as they want to, and really plays into the San Francisco's, where now Jimmy D doesn't have to throw the ball. They can run the ball almost the entirety of the game and end up winning. But against Matthew Stafford and this offense, who have played incredible this postseason, they've had their ups and downs throughout the year, but this postseason they've been dialed. They almost allowed a second-half comeback by the Buccaneers. Sorry, Trevor.
No, that's all good. I got the Bucs stuff on today. Shout out to Mike Allstott. Got the list tomorrow. So.
But they almost allowed a last-second comeback by the Buccaneers, but that was mostly due to the fact that all the fumbles by the running backs and Cooper Kupp have a fumble. I mean, that's the kind of game that San Francisco's going to have to. Huh?
I think it's the kind of game you're not going to see twice. But
yeah, and it's the kind of game that San Francisco needs to happen. Like, Los Angeles is going to have to turn the ball over a lot, I think, for San Francisco to stay in this thing. Now, it's possible that Matthew Stafford goes out, has a horrible game. Cam Akers fumbles the ball 3 times again, and San Francisco wins in a 17-10 close game. But I just don't see that happening. Jimmy G has not looked impressive at all this year. Shout out to Carrie.
Yeah, that's his guy.
His biggest fan. But Jimmy G hasn't looked impressive at all this year. And if you look at the way these teams stack up against each other, how good the Rams' run defense has been throughout the postseason, how good their offense has played throughout the postseason, minus that second half against the Bucks, where they really took the foot off the gas.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it really hard for me to see a path forward for the Niners in this game.
Yeah, and now switching it up just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Kerry, since I did the AFC with him last night, he gave me his score prediction for this game. He's taking the Niners 24-14. Do you have a score prediction for the other game, for the KC game?
For the KC game,
No,
I took the Chiefs.
Uh-huh.
My score prediction would probably be like, if the Bengals defense shows up, which is the only way they have a chance of winning, the Bengals defense has to show up. Maybe like a 31-34 Chiefs, or maybe even slightly more in the Chiefs' favor, 31-24, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if the Bengals defense didn't show up, that game's over before halftime.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've been playing well lately, though, so it's very, very possible that they show up and play a great game.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, if you're interested in that one, definitely go check that one out. But back to LA and San Fran. I got a couple X factors for this game, so I'm going to let you know one guy on each team who I think is the X factor. I'm going to go with the Niners first. I think if he's good, that's the only chance they can or even have a good chance to win the game. And good is not just good enough. I mean, playing good football against the Rams defense. Like, if he can somehow do more than 240 yards and 2 touchdowns and 1 pick or less, I would say that's a good game for him. That puts them in a position to win. But he hasn't showed that at all. So,
not at all.
And if he's on the other side of the coin, if you're an X factor, if you're bad, they lose.
Yeah.
The luck runs out. You're not going to beat, like I said, the Rams scoring 13 and 23 points.
Yeah.
On the other sideline, I got Cam Akers. Fumbled last week.
3 times.
Which was not amazing. But that's something you're not going to see, I don't think, this week. Definitely not 2 weeks in a row. But last week against the Niners defense, Aaron Jones had 130 yards receiving. And Cam Akers is just as good, if not better, a pass catcher than Aaron Jones. So if they can get him involved that way, and then guys start opening up like Cooper Kupp, OBJ, that's going to be a lot to deal with. So,
yeah, that makes me think if maybe as opposed to doing the run game, which they struggled doing in the second half of the Bucs game, if they go to like a short passing game similar to what New England did with Brady when Brady was in New England. Using the short pass instead of the run to accomplish the same goal.
That's like what you're like. I don't know if you've noticed. It's more in college than in the NFL so far, but it's becoming a new thing where on like 1st and 10, they're just lining up and having these like 3 or 4 yard rushes, but they're pass plays. Like they're just snapping the ball, throwing it to the running back, throwing it to a screen immediately, throwing it to a tight end, and just getting 3-4 yards off the bat, just like a run, but. Yeah, that's definitely a new way to attack it, and Cam Akers is a guy to have if you want to do that.
Absolutely.
So those are my 2 X factors for this game.
So my 2 X factors, I mean, obviously, I think you're spot on with the Jimmy G pick for 49ers. They do not win this game if he does not play well. He's going to have to play good football, good quarterback football, if they want to win this game, because you can't expect the Rams to put up anything less than 31 points. As good as the Niners defense is, you can't expect the Rams with all those weapons, with a quarterback that likes to throw the ball all over the field, you can't expect them to put up less than 31, which means you're going to have to match and beat that. So Jimmy G is going to have to be on the money with his passing. He's going to have to be mistake-free. The second he throws a pick, I think that game's over. And I know that's a big statement because it's never really over till it's over, but I think the second you see Jimmy G make that mistake, that big mistake, which he seems to do almost every game, I think that game's over because the 49ers are going to have to play near perfect football to win.
I agree.
On the other side, for the Rams, I'm going to have to say it's, and this is kind of weird, but my X factor honestly is Aaron Donald. They need to stop that run game because if the Niners can't run the ball and if Aaron Donald's clogging up the middle of that field, Niners have no chance. If Aaron Donald does what Aaron Donald does, which is protect the inside run against the inside run game, Niners are not going to stand a chance of winning this game. And I think that given the fact that those are two of my X factors, I think it makes it pretty clear what my pick to win the game is.
Yeah.
Because on one side you have Aaron Donald, who is just a beast, and then on the other side you have Jimmy G, who's a pretty mediocre quarterback, who both need good games in order to win. But I think Aaron Donald is much more poised to have that big game on the interior than Jimmy G is to throw for 300, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Gotcha. So, sounds like we both got the Rams winning this game.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go ahead with your official score prediction?
So, my official score prediction, like I said, you're not going to hold the Rams to less than 31. I think the Rams are going to win this game actually pretty heavily, given that everything we've talked about today. So, my official score prediction for the game is a 42-17 rout over the Niners for the Rams.
Wow. Okay. 42-17. The over-under is 45.5. So you got almost one team getting there.
I'm surprised it's that low. I mean, I know San Francisco's got a good defense, but like I said, you have to expect the Rams to put up 31.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at their last games, they're just like with almost a scoreless second half against the Bucs, they put up more than that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'd agree in terms of the offense being hard to stop. I think this is the best defense they're gonna face. I have the Rams winning. I have them winning 27-10. I don't see Jimmy G getting it done. But yeah, so we both got the Rams 27-10. Rip Niners. But man, could you imagine if we were getting the Rams and Packers right now in LA?
That'd be
amazing.
It'd be in Green Bay.
Yeah. So yeah, we also did one for the AFC Championship game, Bengals and Chiefs. Me and Carrie did that one. Go check that out. It's the year of the beer. That's all I got.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning in. Again, we're gonna do this again for the Super Bowl. We're probably gonna have all three of us together to talk about that. But it's a short series, pregame previews that we're gonna do. And thanks everyone for watching. If you haven't already, follow us on Twitter at Beerly Sports and at Beerly Football. You can also check out the Beerly Hoops podcast Trevor does. That's also on Twitter at Beerly Hoops. Make sure that you, obviously, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, share it. Trevor's pretending like he can shoot anything. But thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday for the next episode of the Beerly Football Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.